Hello, Scrappy friends. Welcome to Workshop Wednesday. My name is Diane Gutierrez, and I am a Creative Memories advisor located in California. If you are looking for a creative memory advisor to shop with and you don't already have one, I would love to be that person for you. And if you are thinking of becoming an advisor, I would really love for you to join my team. We can talk more about that. If you're interested, leave me a message. We are here to do some scrapbooking today, and we are working in our Keeping It Simple series, where we take the 52 project recipe book by Creative Memories. I've picked out some super simple ones that I feel are super simple. They're all pretty easy, but some of them I feel like are a little bit more easy and they fit into our Keeping It Simple series. This is just one tool that we can use to help keep our scrapbooking simple, right? There's several things we can do, but using a guide like the project recipe book is one way we can keep our things simple. I'm going to be creating a page in my daughter's National Park book today as well. We are not going to be in the woods today. We're not going to be by the ocean. We are going to be in the city. So I'm bringing in a completely new, not new, but a different theme into this National Park book. So let me go ahead and flip you over to my table and we can talk more as we scrap along. And I am on page 56, which happens to be project recipe number 26. So if you have the book, you can follow along. Of course, if you don't have the book and you've been here before, you know I always put one up on my blog. It's the same exact project recipe, just using a different collection. You can grab that PDF over on my blog just by clicking the link. It's in the description of the video. It takes 2 pieces for our background, of course, and then 3 pieces of paper, 2 of which they use designer paper or pattern paper, and then 1 they bring in some cardstock for some photo mats. And I'm going to kind of keep to that as well today. So like I said, our National Park book, we're heading to the city, and so I'm bringing in the Passport to Adventure collection. This is probably going to be my last layout with this collection, because after I cut into all these, I won't have any left I have 1 piece left and that's it, of a 12 by 12, and very, very few scraps. So this will probably be my last layout. I'm going to bring in these 2 pages right here for my background today, and they used pattern paper in theirs, and I thought that was a great idea because I feel like the layout does need a pop of something to make that happen and make it look nice. So I decided to follow their lead and use designer paper for the background. For paper number 1, I'm going to bring in this map paper here. They're not using a full sheet. I happen to have this nice large scrap, so it's going to be perfect for what I need. And then for paper number 2, I did need pretty much a full sheet, so I went with this stripe. And then for my cardstock down here, I decided to bring in some platinum shimmer because I was going round and round about this piece. I really wanted some color, but then when I came down to it, I thought, you'll see when I show you my photos, why I thought the platinum was perfect. So I brought in that little piece of shimmer. And I do have a few little scraps left in this collection, and I thought I'm just gonna bring these in case I do need to add a little pop of color to this layout, because if you look at my paper, it's a little gray and blue, and so I thought, well, since it's her National Park book, I should add in a little bit more color for that. So we'll see how that's going to work its way in. Then I have a lot of stickers left, so I'm hoping to get a few more of these used today. And for my punch, I'm bringing in an older punch. This one is called Diamond Arches. This one's been discontinued already, so I do apologize for that. But I was looking for something with an arch, and I thought this one is perfect because it's kind of petite. I could have also brought in like Rainbow Ripple, but I think that one's a little too large for this layout. We don't have a ton of room, but maybe you would on your layout. So I kind of went for my theme. So let me show you my pictures and you'll know why I went with the arch. I am bringing in pictures from when we went to the Gateway Arch in St. Louis. This was a family trip, so I feel like, hey, I made it into her album. There's not going to be a whole lot after our first ones that we were all together. Her sister and her do some more than we do as family now. So yeah, we took a trip to St. Louis. Talk more about that. And this is a national park, so it's not really one that you spend the whole day necessarily at, but beautiful nonetheless. And you'll see here the big pillars, and that's where I came up with platinum shimmer to use as my cardstock. We're going to start with paper number 1, which for me is the map. This is the one that we don't need a lot of cuts. We just need a 3-inch cut, 3 by 12. This one is 1.5 inches. And we need to turn this one over and use the reverse side, so it's that stripe again. Then this last one is a 1 inch. That's it. That's all we needed from paper number 1. That's why I was able to get away with a smaller piece. I was thinking that's not going to line up as I had planned. The stripe is my one of my background pieces, not my ones I'm going to cut. I just reached over and grabbed it. This is this blue. It's blue with some squiggly lines. The back side, I love this. This can make a lot of embellishments right here. I have some scraps left. I'll be doing that as I disassemble this collection, because like I said, this will be my last layout with it. So we're going to punch out 1 row. And now we're going to trim it off at 1.5 inches. Okay, there we go. And now we're going to take the rest of our piece, and 2 of these are going to be used for photo mats, and I'm going to keep that the same. So it's telling us to do the 6.5 inch cut first. I know that because of the width here, but also they put that number first. So let me go ahead and do that. 6.5, and I'm going to turn it and do 4.5. You can make these a little smaller if you wanted. I think it's going to be okay for me right now. I could always trim them down later. Okay, so the next piece, they have us trimming down some little lines here, and I'm going to show you what that's used for over here. Now their paper was a little different, so they used it for some journaling strips, kind of like we do for our write-on strips. And so I'm not going to do that because my paper is not going to be very good for journaling. So I am going to bring in some write-on strips for those. And like the back side, I could probably get away with it, but I don't want to do that. I'm going to bring in some journaling, some write-on strips, but for today, I actually just did a couple little cutouts, like some strips, just to demonstrate where I would put the write-on strips. Okay, so I'm skipping that part, and I'm going to continue on with the rest of the cuts, which we need 3.25. I should have had a little bit left, but I have exactly 3.25, so that's good. We'll stop there. Now this is the special technique for this recipe, and I love this idea, and it's gonna make a pretty wide border, but I think that I'll be okay with it. I wasn't sure when I saw the size of the border, but I think it's gonna work out pretty good for me today. So I'm gonna keep that idea. I'm just gonna, this is 3 3/4, and we're gonna punch both sides. So I just need to start on one side and do the whole punch, and then I'm gonna turn it around and do the other side. Now we're on to piece number 3, which was is the cardstock and the photo mats. It's these right here. I'm not going to cut mine right now because my photos do not equal what they have here. Okay, my photos, this page will be very similar, but it's this page right here where half of those mats are used. And so I don't want to cut quite yet until I know for sure what I want to do. So I'm going to bring this back in a little bit. Now for my background, I'm going to bring in this gray piece. I love this piece. If I had to, I might have went for it on both sides, but I didn't. So I'm going to use what I have. I feel like the stripes are a little bit of a bold choice, but I think once I get my photos on here and the big border that we just made, that it's going to be, a lot of it's going to be toned down. So let's see what we have here. We have the first piece that we cut, which I believe was 3 inches. Yep, 3 inches is going to drop right down here at the bottom like that. Then our border will come in and can rest right there. Okay, you can put it down as far as you would like. I think when I bring my photos in, I might have to change that up ever so slightly. Okay, this 1-inch strip that matches our blue map paper is going to come, actually it comes up here at the top, but I'm going to be turning mine around today, and I'm going to build mine off to the right hand side instead. They have 2 horizontals and then the 2 4x4 photos, and wouldn't you know it, I had mostly vertical photos. So I'm just going to turn it this way and then build this direction instead, and minus that. That's probably going to stay the same, but it won't matter. It doesn't matter how you change it. You're going to see it's going to look nice off to the side as well. And then this piece comes in right here on top of our border. Now this is the piece I was considering that I might bring in some of the scraps that I have over here to add that little pop, because I already have so much stripe here that, and I can't use blue because I have the blue down there. So that was the piece I was considering. I was going to hold off and see what I like. But then over here is where we're going to bring in our punch out, and it slides right over here. I feel like you have choices here. You can come all the way to the edge and just show a little bit, or you can overlap. I think what I'm going to do is, you'll see how my punch out has like the little diamonds. I don't really want that showing. It's going to cover it all up. I just want the little arches. So now you know why I went with the arches, because we're at the gateway arch, and I thought that was kind of a cute little tribute to the arch itself. At first I wasn't sure. I thought I don't want too many arches on the page, but I think it's going to look pretty good. Okay, now I rotated my paper, so I'm going to do my 2 verticals will go right here. And let me bring those in. And I believe they're 4x6s, so I'm okay, except for I know I had to trim down one of my photos. This one. She took the photo, you know how they do that to make it look the optical illusion, like her arms are stretching across the whole arch. But when I went to, I actually had this printed at Walgreens, and it didn't come out good at all. It was super dark and it was cut off. And when I tried to print it at home, the same thing, it was cutting off her hands. So I had to change the setting on the printer to print it so her hands would actually show, but it made a little strip down here that I had to trim off. So I might come back in and change the size of the photo mat here, but we'll see. But that one's going to go right there. And another picture of the arch will go down here. That one I did not trim. And then I have, let's see. Oh yeah. So up here, there's supposed to be a 4x4, but I didn't want to trim this one down. I did trim it a little to a 5.5x4, but to make it a 4x4, I'm going to cut off that bridge right there. And I didn't want to do that. So I'm hoping it's going to fit in here. If I come back in with a mat, then I might be changing that. This is one of the silver mats that we would put here. And if I come back in, I might have to trim down a little bit to get everything on here. So we'll see. And then down here, I have her in the observation booth looking down. If you've never been there, I'll tell you, and so you're not surprised like I was, but you have to go in a little tiny elevator at the bottom, and the elevator actually takes you up in an angle, and then when you get to the top, you're looking down over everything. You can see St. Louis, Missouri on one side, and then Illinois on the other side. So pretty cool. I was not a huge fan of that elevator. It was pretty tight. Yeah, I didn't think it was going to be an issue at all, but once you get going and then your mind starts wandering and you're like, I want to get out of here. And then you get up here and you walk around, and they give you as much time as you want, at least when we were there. Yeah, it was pretty cool. They have windows all around. You can't even see it up there, but it is there, and then you can look around. So that's her looking out the window. Now on this other page, they have the 2 4x4s, and that's all they had. And she had more photos than that she wants on here. So I decided these need to be kept tall and vertical, so I wanted to keep it like that. So I think what I'm going to do, and I trimmed these down a little, these two down a little bit, but this last one I just couldn't trim it because I was afraid I'm going to lose part of that bridge right there, and obviously that's what she wanted. So I kept that one at a full size, but trimmed this one to a 3.5 by 6, and then this one I believe is like a 3.25, something like that. And so I thought that was my best option. They all still fit, and I still have room to bring in some of that platinum shimmer. And then I have a couple other that I was able to cut down into 4x4s. I think what I'm going to do is put it down here somewhere. The reason I'm doing that is to kind of to keep to the theme of this project recipe. We have the border here and the journaling here. So I thought if I could stack these two photos up and put it inside a peekaboo pocket, then I could put the journaling, I could either do it on the outside or the inside. So I thought that would be kind of cute to have that on the outside of the peekaboo pocket. She can write on it, and then when we flip up, we can see these. So all of these weren't exactly around the arch. Some of these are just around St. Louis, but she didn't want 2 pages. She wanted it all on, she didn't want more than 2 pages, so you'll see that some of this is not, but I'm okay putting that one down here and then putting the pocket like that. This journaling spot came from the die cuts, some die cuts that we had, and I wanted to make sure I pointed that out. It's a little bit of a glossy feel, so she has to be careful when she's doing some journaling right there, and it's not a huge spot, but these are photo safe, and that's what I wanted to point out, that I could put this in here and it's going to be inside a peekaboo pocket anyway. But I'm also going to leave this journaling card with her, so in case she needs to write a little bit more, I would trim this one down to a 4x4 so that she could journal a little bit more than that. So that I'll keep this one with this page until she makes that decision. But for now, I thought this was super cute, and it happens to be the perfect size, so why not? Let me go ahead and get this adhered down a little bit. Okay, so here's where I need to decide. I do have a long piece of green. Let's cut it and see. There's some green in our photos, so I felt like this would be a great opportunity to bring in that pop of color. Okay. Yeah, I think that's a lot. I like that a lot better than the stripe. I think the stripe's overwhelming, but I still want to bring in some of the shimmer paper. Let me figure that out first. I'm going to bring, instead of matting each one of those, I don't think I have room for that. I'm going to do one solid matte behind. I think probably when I do that, I usually use about an 11.5 inch. There's 6-inch photos. I didn't trim any off the height. So I could do probably 6.25 or 6.5. I'm gonna do 6.5 first, see if we like it. If it's too big, I will trim it down. And I like that a lot better, I think, than having all of that exposed. So there we go. Yeah, the shimmer looks good, even though I was really wanting a pop of something. I was thinking of bringing in some yellow, and it was just, I felt like it was going to be just way too vibrant for this kind of page. I'm just going to put the little journaling box here so we know. Let's go ahead and get this adhered. It's good to be doing something a little different than the outdoorsy ones, although those, I love doing those too. So, but I thought, oh, this will be fun to add into her album. The colors actually go pretty well, the blues and the greens. So that's kind of how page number, the left-hand page is going to look. I'm going to work on this page now. I think with this one I will trim down that mat. There. So that means I'm going to do this one too, a little easier. Then the only other thing that we want to consider is, do we want to use platinum shimmer over here on these two? Now I would like to see if I can get some more green in to bring this green over. I just have a perfect size right here. Yeah, that looks good. Let's see. That's the shimmer paper. I'm not sure. I also have some yellow, and this, I love this shade of yellow. This is the yellow I was going to bring in, and the closest I could find was like sunflower yellow. Sunflower it's called. I thought it was still a little too much. Okay, so I do like this one. I'd have to trim the photo ever so slightly because it looks like I'm already at 4 inches, but I have a lot of darkness down here, and even some of the sky could be taken off. So let's do a 1/4 inch and see if that fits better. See if we like that. I feel like that might be a good choice to bring in, since I have yellow around my journaling card, and this will be the top of the peekaboo pocket. But I like it. I'm going to go with that for now and go ahead and see if I should keep that. But I think I'm going to. I just want that little extra bit of something. And there's probably some stickers too I'm going to bring in. I could bring a little bit more of this yellow piece or color in. So that's the layout. Let's do some embellishing on here, and this one will be done. So I didn't need my write-on strips after all. I'm going to go with this border. So with this journaling card. So we're okay. Let me show you real quick where they have their embellishment clusters. They have a little one here, a big one on the border, which I'm going to replicate as well, a small one here, and then a little sticker down here. So there's lots of room for you to embellish on here. I think what I'm going to do is just 2 spots. I'm going to come right here on the border and then over here kind of on that border as well. Actually, that's right. There's some cute border stickers. It looks like I've used one of the arrow or the chevrons. So I'm going to go ahead and see if I want this. And okay, you don't see it here in this one, but if you look at the one that I put up on the blog, they put a border sticker right along this edge down here. Kind of liked it. I was going to see, yeah, I think I'm going to do that. Put it kind of lightly in case I change my mind. Now right here, where I'm going to put the peekaboo pocket, I'm going to trim off a little bit so I can maybe take it to the other side. I have a few I need at the other end over here. Put this one right at the edge. I'm just kind of lining this. It's a 2-tone chevron, so I'm kind of putting that right on this line here, and then this will go like that. So I have this little piece I can maybe take to the other side. Stick it on my little mat for now. I think that's cute. I love that we're traveling. You always need direction while you're traveling, and I feel like that's what it's doing. It's kind of guiding us to the other side. I did bring in the name. I just grabbed some old alpha stickers from my stash. It looks all crooked now, but I'm going to line it all up nice and straight. Probably right here or somewhere. I could even put it up at the top maybe. Probably won't keep it just like this. I probably will cut it apart, especially the year. So someone just recently asked me about the wax paper. Yeah, I don't keep the wax paper on here. I do peel it off and re-stick. I'm just saving you guys from having to watch that happen. And I'll take my time and line that all up. So maybe I would even do something like this. There we go. I kind of like that. Or maybe I could put it down here. But I do like to put the name and definitely the year. Probably most likely will not go back to this national park, but some of them she's been back to, we've already seen. I like to kind of at least put the year so she knows when she's older like me, she'll wonder what year that was. Right now, her memory is so good that she doesn't need it, but she will eventually, so I like to do that. Sometimes I've been hiding it, tucking it in like on the journaling somewhere, but I kind of like keeping these together. And this one happened, this little font, or this little sticker was blue with silver, and I thought, perfect. I had not even, the whole sheet was brand new, so I was like, perfect. It's going to match my colors. It's the same blue as this, and then the silver matches the platinum shimmer paper. So much I love when that happens. Like, oh, it's perfect. I think I have 2 tags. I'll probably put one on one side, and I do want to bring in still more green on this side, so I'll put this one over here. And I have that one little miscut cut of my punch. I might scoot it up just high enough so that you won't see that little punch where I was tucking and did not punch that very well. I did bring in some of these little stamps from the collection, but I need to think some more about that. And one, I had this already punched out. This is from the compass punch. Perfect for when you're traveling. Lots of like those geo markers. Those are fun. I'll make sure to get one of those in. I'm going toward this one since we have some of the aqua. Scooting it over. I want to see my cute chevrons there, so might come up. It says next stop. I like that. Maybe something like that. And push it more toward the left so I have a little bit more room. I would probably tuck this in to one of these sides. I like that. The stamps, I think it's gonna be too much right there. I was thinking also maybe bringing them down here or up there. So let's see if we like it down here. I just brought in 3 and I tried to bring in the same colors and maybe something that matched what we were doing. Like we didn't take a train. We did take a plane to come here. There was planes, but I thought like airplanes, but I thought, well, I don't know. But we drove around town in a little rental car that we had, and then the compass, which we have over here. And binoculars I thought were perfect because of the fact that we were like observing, but different kind. We didn't really have binoculars, but I thought that's kind of cute. It matched good, and the colors of these ones matched really good too. So probably come down here and stagger these a little bit, something like that. That's kind of cute. I don't really like that little space there, so I'll bring those around like that. There. Yeah, I like that. Okay, I like this one. It says, what a view. Definitely need that. And I think I'll bring it over here and put it somewhere with my tag over here. Maybe something like that. I do like the camera. Yep, I like it because it's the same colors as there. I probably would do something like that. These are little compasses too, so I probably don't need that. I feel like I have that on here a couple times, but I do like the geo marker. Yeah, probably off to the side here. Or I'll switch these two around and put this like that. Let's see if we can work this in somewhere. Should we have it going the other way? I like it here. I do like the cut down here though, but okay, let's cut off 2, 3, 4 of them. Let's cut off 4 of them and see, because it fits the same width of the tag. There's a couple others. I don't know if I'm just getting carried away now. But if I wanted to use them all up, I could probably slide these over and then let's put a little, take the sticky off that in case we change our mind. And, or do we want to go this direction? Maybe that way. There are little binoculars, the little compass, and the vehicle. That's kind of cute. I'm going to work on that one a little more because maybe I'll bring it up here next to the title. But when I go to adhere everything down, I'll have to make that final choice. I think I'm getting close to being done. I didn't want a lot of embellishing on here. I think that's another way we keep it simple is we keep our embellishment clusters simple as well. That's where I'm going to end my layout for today. Again, want to just keep it simple. I think this is a great way to document her trip to the Gateway Arches. It brings in, I think it's going to flow nicely in the album just based on the color palette. So, well, thank you guys for joining me and walking through this national park book with me. I appreciate it. Okay, take care, everybody. Bye.